Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Danny, Angel, The Roots of Ambition. We got a special show today. We were blessed with some folks that gave us their moment, and we are honored to be sitting down here with Los Rakas.
Los Rakas.
We got Mr. Dunn here.
Yeah.
En Raka Rich.
And Raka Rich.
El rapero favorito de tu rapero favorito.
Let's go. So I'm gonna introduce you guys really quick, bro. I'm very excited for this, man.
Let's get it.
So today, the Roots of Ambition, we've got Grammy-nominated artists, cultural trailblazers, and proud Panamanian cousins.
Yeah.
Straight out of Oakland. The grind is global. Their sound is one of a kind. Welcome to the show, Los Rakas, Raka Rich, Raka Dunn. Let's get into this party, big dog. I got some questions for you, man.
Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for your time. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, man, I was just listening to every song possible. I was like, oh, I didn't know this song. I was listening to the one from 2006. I was like, man, that mixtape is fire.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, I like that, when, like, the beginning. I like old music, but especially when, like, you listen to the beginning of an artist, it's like, I feel like you really feel that soul, right? Because you're putting it out there and stuff. That was dope.
We were like 16. We were like, teenagers. You know what I mean?
It was so cool.
Yeah.
So before I get started, homeboy, I want to tell Walter thank you for responding and blessing us, bro, because we're a young show. We're growing very fast. Mm-hmm. And the goal here is, like, everybody's goal is to dream big and to go as far as you can and take as many people as you can with you. For sure. Right? That's been my philosophy with both of my businesses. I'm up to 45 employees now. This is my third business with Angel. And we anything I want to put my hands on, I want to do whatever I can to be the best I possibly can out there. Right. So I want to tell you guys, thank you for this opportunity, man. Honestly, it was a blessing for us. Sure. And I'm going to do whatever I can on my part to help you guys in return and get your guys' name out there, get more people to know who you are. I'm a big fan of reggae music. Mm-hmm. I didn't listen to rap a lot because I was the kind of guy that would listen to music and become my music. So if I heard too much Tupac, bro, I'm gonna go knock somebody out, dog. Right? I'm serious, man. If I listened to too much NWA, I wanted to let's go.
Yeah, music is powerful like that. Yeah.
But reggae, when I heard reggae for the first time, it spoke to my soul, bro. It made me more peaceful. It made me more kind, bro. It made me want to open up and to listen to more people the right way. Right? I fell in love with Bob Marley. I became a big Bob Marley fan. And Barrington Levy, Linville Thompson, bro, Don Carlos, Ika Mouse, the list goes on and on and on. So when I got the information the other day, just like Angel, I went down a rabbit hole, bro. But then honestly, bro, the biggest thing I took out of it, you guys been in business for 20 years doing this. It is not easy. So my first real question for you is, what has been the hardest thing that you guys can each answer separately? What's been the hardest thing in business that you guys have ever dealt with? And how did you guys get around that obstacle? If you want to answer first?
For sure. One of the things I learned in business is, like, sometimes you start working with a certain group of individuals, and it starts to feel like a brotherhood. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's not. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, when you get in business, make sure it's like you don't confuse the friendship, brotherhood with the business.
Amen, bro.
I feel like a few times in our career that happened, where they were acting like they were family, you know. So we're like, no way they're gonna play us. We family. You know what I mean? And then that vitals, you know what I mean? I feel like learn the difference between business and friendship. If it's a real friendship, you know what I mean?
100%, bro. 100%.
I think that's such a great thing to learn, hopefully early on, because no matter what business you're in, you go through that.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? It's all part of the learning experience, because I feel like ever since the very beginning, we've been coming up. Like,
Yeah.
we never had to really
Young,
struggle.
too.
Yeah.
Young.
We've always been just on the way up.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Respect.
so, you know, where do you learn from? You know, how do you learn if you just keep going up and everything is going great? You know what I mean? And it comes in business. There's always that moment where you have to pivot, where you have to like figure out, you know, okay, I've been in this business for 10 years, but now we're struggling.
Yeah.
How do we keep it afloat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's all part of business. You know, not every business is going to go up. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you're going to have your moment where it's like it's going to go down.
Yeah.
And
Right.
how do you keep it up? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And a lot of people quit.
Absolutely.
You know, so for us, all of those learning experience, you know, I feel like have been good experience, even though it hurts.
Yeah.
They've been good experience, you know, because it's made us the men that we are today. It's not like we went to school for business. We didn't have to learn the hard way.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro.
We had to learn through our experience. So, I mean, that's been very important. So, you know, no regrets. Shout out to everybody that's been a part of the movement. You know, it's not a diss to anybody. It's just, it's life. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Damn, that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
So I like to go forward and backwards and in the middle, forward and backwards throughout the conversation, because I really want people to understand who you guys are, how you think, and people to really gravitate towards your guys' character and your history, right?
Yeah.
So the first question is, where do you guys come from, right? I did my research. I went down the rabbit hole, but I want others to do the same for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So where do you guys come from? What are those early days like in Panama and in Oakland?
Yeah, so we come from Panama.
Yeah.
You know, I was born in Panama till I was 14. Panama, you know, grew up listening to a lot of Caribbean music, you know, soca, merengue, reggae, dancehall. We were poor, but I had a pretty fun childhood, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we were outside. Like,
Yeah.
It was all kind of games outside in Panama, you know.
You didn't realize you were poor.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and then we came to the United States, Oakland, a whole different experience. But I loved it too. I loved growing up in Oakland. It was a lot of things going on during our era.
Off
when
the
we were growing
hook.
up in high school with the hyphy era and all that. Right. And we mix all of that stuff and put it in the music. Man.
Yeah. So I was born in the Bay.
Right on.
I was born in Hayward. I was raised in Panama too. So that's the reason why I'm like bilingual.
Yeah.
I can speak both perfectly. You know what I mean? I can switch it. Hey, que eso paga, en vía real. Vamos para tal lado, vamos a hacer lo que tenemos que hacer y representar lo que tenemos que representar. Oíste. So, you know what I mean? It was like, you know, I was born out here, but I was sent back home right away. So I went to preschool. I went to elementary in Panama for a little while. Then I came back to the Bay. And I remember growing up in both places, you know what I'm saying? Like, because my mom stayed in California still. She lived in L.A.
Oh.
So she lived in Long Beach or whatever. So I was living with my grandma back home, and then I'll come back, you know, to come spend time with my mom, and then she'll send me right back home to my grandmother or my aunties, you know what I mean? A lot of my family members raised me. It wasn't just my mom.
Yeah,
you know
the tribe.
Yeah, it was the tribe. So when I would go to Panama, I was just soaking up the culture. I remember the first time, one of the first times that I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
And I was kicking it with my uncles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were probably like teenagers at the time.
Yeah.
I was maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And they just in the corner just chopping it up, kicking up, you know, just talking game. But how they were talking, you know, it was all slang and street, how they, you know, la manera que hablaban en Panama.
It was like an art.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, you know what I mean? Like the style, the manner, how they cover their mouth because they didn't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like a mafia thing. Like, you know, the whole swag, the gold tooth in the mouth, and the haircut and the whole style. And I'm like, this is who I am.
I dig that.
I
dig that.
You know what I mean? This is how I want to talk like them. You know what I'm saying? And then coming back to California, you know, hip hop at the time wasn't that old, you know what I mean? It was still brand new.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Like West Coast hip hop, you know.
It was starting to crack.
It was cracking, like Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? So my mom lived in Long Beach, you know, Snoop.
Dude,
Come on, Snoop.
Yeah.
was like
everywhere, bro.
Pioneered the whole West, like, you know,
king of LBC.
Like I didn't get to really see NWA, but Snoop was like my guy. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre, Snoop. And I'm like, yo, this is so fire. Like, yo, like I just kept, you know, like just embracing both sides of the culture. Even music in Panama at the time was brand new too. You know what I'm saying? So I got to see really like all the pioneers from both sides, West Coast and Panamanian music.
Beautiful.
So, you know, and so as now that I'm older and I hear people say that reggaeton started in PR. Yeah. Or, you know, that this person started reggaeton or this. It's like, for me, it's a little bit offensive. Because it's like, nah,
I was there.
We can argue that. Hold on.
I was there. I seen the evolution from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Nando Boom came to Long Beach, came to LA, you know what I'm saying? In the 90s, early 90s, you know what I'm saying? And my mom took me to the concert to go see him. He was at a reggae fest, but he was the only Spanish-speaking artist. Everybody else, you know, all the legends from the reggae world, but he was the only Spanish-speaking artist. And, you know, he's one of the legends from Panama, one of the pioneers. Without Nando Boom, as a matter of fact, without Nando Boom, there would be no reggaeton.
Really?
Because they used his drums on one of his songs to create that drum pattern.
Is Nando Boom the El Gato Volador? Is that?
No, Nando Boom is way before. He's like one of the pioneers. Yeah, like in general.
Okay, I'm getting them confused.
Yeah, Gato Volador is the homie too, though.
Yeah.
And so El Gato Volador, you know, that's what it evolved into eventually. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
The genre that they call reggaeton or underground, whatever you might, because they call it different things. In Panama, we call it plena. You know what I'm saying? And but that sound started in Panama. I don't care if they say, oh, but the drum. Nah, everything that nowadays they call, even the Dominican sound, the dembow.
Right. Yeah,
that's from Panama. We were doing that in the early 90s. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now it's popping. Yeah. In 2015. Right. I don't remember when it started popping, but in the 2010s, that's when it started popping. But we were doing that in the early 90s. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even like that style of music when the Panamanians were doing it. I'm like, right. This is too all over the place for me. It's too funny. Yeah. I need something serious. Yeah. It was too funny for me.
I dig that. You know I dig that 100%.
It was only certain artists that got away with it because they were clever. Yeah. And it was dope. Yeah. And I'm like, and it was like Aldo Ranks, Danger Man, Papa Chan, El Rookie. Because El Rookie wouldn't do no funny music. A rookie would like flip those fast beats
and do a love song,
or a song with a message.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm like, man, El Rookie is just on a whole nother level. But then El Rookie will hit you with some reggae, some dancehall, So, you know, I really got to soak it up, you know, because I was traveling both places. So I get to see.
You were blessed, bro.
I'm really blessed. And then I got to see like, oh, okay, this would work over here. That wouldn't work over there. Oh.
So you were dissecting.
Yeah, when you travel, you able to think of different ways of doing things. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So you were creating your style before you even got into it.
You started downloading that shit.
Exactly. I was downloading naturally.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, man, this is so fire. Like, yo, just as a fan of music, I was the type of kid that I would hang up posters of my favorite artists.
Respect.
I would go to the radio and fucking, you know, at the time we had
record
tapes, cassette tapes, right? Yeah. Record. Yeah. I remember when I came back from Panama and I was listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh.
The Crossroads.
Yeah, you're blown away.
I was like, yo, I don't
what
know what
is this? What is this?
But the flow is crazy. I'm like, record. Yeah. You know. So that, you know, I just been really blessed, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
hell yeah.
So it all up. Yeah.
So again, I know this, but I want the folks to know this. Like, so how and when did you guys cross roads? Right? when did you guys cross roads, bro? Yeah. Right? Because to be from Panama, right? Did you guys know each other as kids? No, right?
Yeah. We met in Oakland.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the fucking odds of two dudes with Panama background, Panama culture, right? Yeah. And they're in fucking Oakland and they happen to meet. Tell me this shit ain't a blessing, bro.
Exactly. We always say that.
So like, how?
it was like the stars and the moon.
Aligned.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of Panamanians moved to Miami or Brooklyn, New York, and
East Coast,
even San Diego or like Atlanta and stuff. But you know, the stars and the moon collide to put us in Oakland. So it was like 2002 in Oakland. I came from Panama. And they came to greet me, you know. Panamanians come from the country, and the family come and greet them, like so they can feel welcome, you know what I mean?
Oh, respect! I didn't know that.
So that's how we met, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wasn't rapping at the time. Rico was rapping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get here, and how old are you?
14.
14. Yeah. So what got you into the music, bro? Like
the music?
Was it like kind of like the same vibe as him? Like, did you already kind of have that Panama vibe going on, and you get here?
Like I tried writing a verse one time in Panama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
En español?
En español. And I showed it to my brother, and he was like, "Man, this sucks."
Always, bro. Always. Brother's always gonna hate on your ass, dog.
I was like, damn.
That's reverse psychology, big dog.
Hey, bro. Hey, so this new artist came out, right? And I knew it was like brand new artist. And he had this song, and then I went in and I pretended that was my song to my brother. I'm like, look, I got a new song.
It still sucks.
I rapped it for him. Like, oh, that's good.
Oh shit.
I'm like, and when he told me, I'm like, oh, okay, he wasn't hating, he was just being honest. You know? Right. But I didn't try to rap no more after that. When I seen Rico rapping and stuff, he inspired me. Like, you know what? Let me pick
You
that
saw
up.
him rapping.
Yeah.
Where at?
He was just rapping, like
at school,
him and his dad. We used to go to the studio and stuff. They had a tape and stuff.
Right on.
You know what I mean? And that inspired me back to rap. But me and Rico lost contact. We lost contact for a little bit, and I started going to this youth organization where I started making music.
Oakland.
Yeah, in Oakland. And we ran into each other back in San Francisco Carnival. We just did San Francisco Carnival. We were on the float.
Yeah.
We did that float with the Panamanian.
Last weekend, yeah.
And San Francisco Carnival is so special to us, man. Because it's like, that's when we reconnected.
Yeah, bro.
I told him, like, hey, come check me out, man. I'm performing. He came in and checked me out. He's like, oh, you got potential, bro. You know what I mean? And we recorded our first video right there, Mi Barrio. We had a lot of scene on there. Abrázame. Like 2 hits. We recorded, and then the other one too, 1, 2, 3, that was on the FIFA soundtrack.
Nice.
So we got a special place with Carnival too.
Yeah. I remember finding out that he was making music, but maybe he don't know, but one of our cousins, Dirac, I always kick it with Dirac. So Dune was doing this thing. He's wherever he's at, he's doing this thing. You know, he's focused on school, whatever he got going on. And me and Dirac more like in the streets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting in trouble, whatever, just experimenting, right?
Yeah.
So we kick it.
We all been there.
Yeah. And D-Doc is like he's a good A&R, right?
Yeah.
He's always like, oh, have you heard this? Like, we'll sit at his house and be like, have you heard this? And he'll play some videos like you don't know about this?
Yeah.
Like the first time I ever heard Lil Boosie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was because of him.
Yeah.
And we were watching a porno.
Yeah.
You know we were
I thought he was gonna say we were watching BET.
Turn it up, big dog. Turn it up.
Nah, we heard Boosie Badass on the porno. And we were like, yo.
We were Booty Me.
I forgot what it was, but Boosie was on porno. I said so, but he was like, "Yo, have you heard Dune?" And I'm like, "Nah, let me check it out." So he played me some of his. I'm like, "Yo, I like it, bro. You got a good voice."
Do you know it was him?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
But he didn't know that I knew.
Okay.
But at the time, like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, tell him I want to work with it. But he was already setting it up. Like, y'all gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes,
bro.
Yeah, because I was already hooking it up.
Because I had told D-Doc.
That's
like,
dope, dude.
Hey, you think Rico mess with me? He's like, I'm gonna tell him. I'm like, for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where he went and showed it to him.
Yeah, he showed it, and I liked it. I automatically, I like, yo, I like his voice. I like his style, the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he already had that energy. His voice has changed a lot now, but back then it was like, you gotta Like Inca Mouse, like Inca Mouse.
Inca Mouse.
When the sun was like
Hell yeah, bro.
It was like Chickmunk style. Yeah.
So at that point, you guys got together. So what made you guys say, let's put something down right now together?
It was him.
It was him.
Yeah. I had a song called Mi Barrio.
You wrote all of it?
Was the song, the hook was already on there when we did Mi Barrio?
I think so.
Yeah. I had a song called Mi Barrio, and Rico came through. You know what I mean? Over there, McClyman in West Oakland.
High school. It was a high school.
He was in high school before they put a middle school in there.
And how old were you guys?
Like 16.
Fucking
Yeah,
baby.
like
Awesome,
16.
bro.
Yeah.
Mi Barrio, we did Mi Barrio, and it was like beginner's luck, bro.
That's
like it was well, the first one we did was Bounce, you know what I mean, and then we did Mi Barrio. Bounce was beginner's luck too, because we were performing everywhere, and people would know it for our performances. Like we didn't like people didn't hear the track.
Like in the music, like the radio.
Yeah, the radio or
Got
the
you.
CD or whatever. There was just
performance.
Yes, we were performing
Live
so
perform,
much
bro.
everywhere. Berkeley, Oakland, San Francisco,
The Bay Area.
Richmond. We were anytime we had to chance we got to perform.
You said, hell
this
yeah.
is a message for the new kids, man. Like,
Talk to him, bro.
go out there and perform, bro. You know what I mean? Nowadays, even kids, bro. Nowadays they don't come out. You know what I mean? Like artists, you gotta come out. You cannot be just on the internet. The only way you go feel that real connection with the fan is you gotta go out there and perform. But we did that one, and then we did Mi Barrio. We did the video, and bro, the video went everywhere, man. Like MTV picked it up. MTV Latin America picked it up.
Oh shit!
And we were everywhere.
But well, you guys already Los Rakas, not yet, right? You guys were
We were Rico and Panama.
Rico and Panama, yeah.
Yeah.
We were solo artists.
Right.
Okay.
He had a
Working
crew-
together.
Yeah, working together. He had a crew called the Rap Stars.
Yeah.
I had a crew called the Black Lion Crew.
Oh, but you guys did those songs together,
Yeah,
separate.
Exactly.
So we were like, I'm a solo artist. He's a solo artist. We had our crew, but we were never like a group, right? But we just had chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Like on stage.
Yeah.
So every time we perform, people be like, y'all group.
Yeah, the
That's how it all
energy was
started.
there.
Bro, the first time we performed, it was like automatic.
Energy.
Like it was like we rehearsed this like 100 times.
So I have to ask you a question. Like when you guys are on stage for the first time, was it like a feeling of competition? Like I gotta outdo you, you gotta outdo me. We gotta put our best foot forward. Or was it just like, hey, your turn, my turn, man, let's kill it?
Yeah. Like
Yeah?
you kill your turn, I kill my turn,
Right on.
and so we can both kill this thing.
Nice,
you know what I
bro.
mean?
That's probably why you guys have that good chemistry, because
Yes.
it's not
Nah,
sure.
and to be honest, like I used to just go watch him perform a lot of the times. I used to just go kick it and just
Right
go.
on, bro.
You know, me and Didao used to go over there, pull up on him, and just watch him do his thing. And we'd be over here just like,
Word up, bro.
yeah, I love it, yeah. Because
Keep doing good, dog.
I'm telling you like this, like he would have this backpack on, right? He carried his backpack everywhere.
Yeah.
Bro. The backpack weighed like 100 pounds. I ain't gonna lie. Where's that backpack at? Bring that back. We gotta put it at the museum.
100 pounds.
And it was like he painted it green and red, right?
Yeah.
It was a black backpack, green and red.
Red, black,
Huh?
and black.
Red,
Green,
yeah.
red, and black.
Yeah.
So, but it was the Panamanian flag and
Yeah.
the green. And he would never take this backpack off. He had like 100 books in that thing, right? And then he would have a big old coat on, you know what I'm saying? With the backpack on. Then he had two singers, you know what I'm saying? Was it two or three?
Yeah,
Two singers and then
a
a poet.
Yeah. Walk with him?
No, like they start off the show.
Oh.
And they got me.
And then he'll come in the middle of the performance.
Yeah.
I was looking at the showman shit. I'm like, this dude, yeah.
So that's when you were 16.
Yeah.
And so what inspired you to, like, that's not just somebody that wants to rap, that's like a performer.
No, bro, like when we started, we were serious from the beginning. Like, I thought I was, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I thought, this is serious right here. You know what I mean? This is no little kid stuff.
Right.
We coming with it. You know what I mean?
But who was your inspiration at that
Shit
time?
like Buju Banton, you know, in Panama, I would watch
Dance
Principal perform, you know.
Right.
Like in Panama, they always talk about, is the artist good on stage? Is it good on stage? Is it good on stage? So I always had that. Like, I feel like I became good on stage before I became good in the studio. You feel me? Rico already had the experience in the studio. Rico was the one that taught me how to count bars and stuff. I would go for like 32 bars. Like, Rico like, brother, this is too long. Like, look, this is how you count bars. 1.
I like, bruh.
2. I'm like, oh, okay.
It was like a machine gun just shooting.
Respect, bro.
Yeah. So, you know, we've been teaching each other stuff. Back and forth.
No, yeah, for sure. So, and then on top of that, he used to have his merchandise too.
Yeah.
Yo, this dude was already ahead of the game. So he had the merch, you know what I'm saying? He had the shirts for sale, the Black Lion Crew shirts. It was a black lion. I ain't never seen a black lion before.
You're right.
I'm like, yo, okay.
It was
black
different.
lion?
That's badass. Different.
Then he had the CDs.
Yeah.
He made his own CDs. I remember the CD cover. It was like a one of the regular pictures. It was not like
Polaroid.
Right. Yeah.
He edited himself, and he was like in front of the on some stairs.
The high school, Oakland High.
And he had like the little diamond or whatever.
Right. Yeah, all serious. Hell yeah,
called
bro.
Lyric City.
Yeah.
That brother sold like 1 million copies in high school. I used to be rolling.
So you're an entrepreneur. I mean, that's
Entrepreneur.
No, for sure,
Hustle to the max,
So he was
bro.
already hustling, and then shout out to Oakland High too.
Yeah.
Shout him out, baby.
Oakland High, because they had a studio where he used to record at Oakland High. And shout out to Mr. Carter. Shout out to K-Dub.
Yeah.
Right on. Respect.
So I didn't go to Oakland High. You
Okay.
know what I mean? But they used to let me.
What they allowed him to do, you know?
But I used to be able to go to Oakland High and pretend like I was a student.
Oh, no shit.
wow.
Yeah, like they wouldn't trip. Like I used to hide in K-Dub's class all day.
Yeah.
They wouldn't say nothing.
They wouldn't say nothing. I'd be in art class all day with K-Dub, and K-Dub had a half pipe, like a skateboarding ring inside of his classroom.
No shit.
Yeah, people be skateboarding.
Yeah, he was the dopest teacher, bro. He'll cast at the students. But all the students will respect him. Though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, you fucking up, man. You gonna have to step it up, man. You know what I mean? Step it up, cause you fucking up. You know, talking like that. You know what I mean? And the student will respect him.
I never saw no shit like that. When I see him cussing people out,
Oh,
like,
man.
And I'm like, yo, K-Dub is crazy. Yo, shout out K-Dub for sure.
Hey,
K-Dub.
man, I got
Carter.
We need more teachers like
We
that.
need
though,
more
'cause
teachers like that,
That's somebody
bro.
that cares
For sure.
for you to really be real and
Bless
stuff.
you,
instead of
bro.
Because he
just-
know his community. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You can't talk to the kids from the ghetto in a polite way. Some people might get away with it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to get on their level.
But if
Yeah.
you want to really get the message across, you got to
Yeah.
talk their language.
Yeah, for
Talk
sure.
to
Talk their language.
100%.
So,
But hey, that brings me a question. This whole story we're talking about right now, when you're 16 and you're already hustling, you're doing this in Spanish, right?
Yeah, in Spanish.
And this is in Oakland.
In Oakland, yeah.
So how are the crowds taking this?
Yeah, bro.
Is it Spanish people that are watching you? Is it all over? Like who's your crowd?
It's mainly English people. You know
Oh,
what
wow.
I mean? It's mainly English people because a lot of the opportunity that we had was in the English community. You know what I mean? So they would be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, by then, it's the second song. They'll be like, by the third song, they're already going crazy.
shit,
You know what I
bro.
mean? Hey, bro, at first I don't know what was going on. I didn't understand what you guys were saying, but it sounds nice, man. You know what I mean? That was the line.
Bro.
That was the line. I don't understand what you guys are saying, but it sounds good. You know, sort of like reggae and
Yeah,
dance.
right.
Like, you might
Yeah,
not understand what they're saying.
No,
but once
no.
you get the rhythm,
The
hits you,
vibe, bro.
you know
The
what I mean?
vibe, the positive energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So did that drove you to like just make sure your performance was even more on point because you knew like, hey, they're not gonna understand what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So I gotta perform.
Like the body language,
Right.
The body, what I'm saying, stuff like saying, you know what I'm saying, with
Yeah.
your fingers and stuff, so they might have an understanding of what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So like the showmanship was like it's like como teatro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use your body like you know what I
theater
mean?
performance. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So I want to get. I have a question for you though, bro, about the hustling.
Yeah.
Like, where'd that come from? Did someone like, hey, if you want to make this happen, you got to hustle here, you got to hustle there. This is what you got to sell.
You know what? Yeah, I had a few mentors, bro. I had a few like people looking out, bro. You know, I ain't gonna lie, like was giving me the information.
Oh, good, good.
K-Dub, he was the one that told me, "Oh, you want to print shirts? I know the spot where you can print shirts."
Okay.
Okay. The logo. Okay, take the logo from Bob Marley. The logo that I was selling, the Black Lion.
The Black Lion.
It was from the Bob Marley, the back of Bob Marley logo. I stole Bob Marley logo. And then you just put Black Lion Crew on the bottom. So that's how I started selling shirts. And then somebody's like, "Oh, you know how you want to make CDs? Okay, I know the person that you could go over there and make the CDs and stuff." Woo, woo. So I had different people telling me,
all in Oakland,
guiding me. Yeah.
All in Oakland, right there.
Yeah.
Respect, bro.
Yeah, I remember he had like I don't remember what show you did, but I remember like Doom only been rapping not even longer than a year.
Yeah,
but he was like, "I want to thank everybody who's been supporting me." I'm like, yo, I'm watching it from the crowd. I'm like, yo, this dude really feeling himself.
Hey, and then he said, "I want to thank me." me.
Oh my God.
I used to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because.
But he was manifesting, like, bro. That's what you were doing.
For sure,
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
You know his confidence was on point. I'm like, yo, I'm looking at him and I just be laughing. Me and D-Dot would be in the background just laughing like crazy.
This dude crazy, homie. I love it.
Because you gotta be crazy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
In Oakland too, you feel me? In Oakland, rapping in Spanish,
you gotta be different.
Yeah, you gotta believe it. Because if you don't believe it, how do you expect the crowd to?
Yeah,
that's a hard crowd to please, bro.
Yeah,
you know, we have a lot of talent in the Bay Area. We have a lot of talent in the Bay Area, so they like, what you got? What you got to offer? You know, and if you looking timid and stuff, they're like, get this motherfucker out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And in Oakland, oh my God. You know, especially during that era, you know, the dudes with the pea coats and the beanie and the white tee. And, it's 80 degrees outside. They look, you know, they all acting like it's cold. And they just looking, and because they really would just stare at you. You know what I'm saying? Panamanians do the same thing.
Panamanians do the same thing.
I think that's why it was like, nah. You're not gonna intimidate
me, yeah.
Nah, because Panamanians do the same thing. They just be looking like,
"Este güey que tiene?"
Yeah.
They might hit you with one of these. They might turn their back on you like this. For real, a lot of mind games.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to overcome that. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be tough, bro. Up here.
Yeah, you got to be tough.
You know what I mean?
And then I think that the confidence also just comes from Panama, man. Knowing that we got something dope back home.
Yeah, like, bro.
Man, we come from the mecca of reggae en español, reggaetón, danzal, lo que ustedes le quieren llamar.
Nosotros
venimos de ahí.
Hey.
You feel me?
Hell
The Mecca.
Hell yeah, bro.
Right?
I
goes
dig it.
Jamaica, then Panama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
And we got the roots too from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Our family come from the West Indies.
Beautiful.
So it's
beautiful,
like, we're not forcing this, we're not faking it.
It's natural.
It's in there, bro. It's in there.
Yeah,
It's in there. It goes to the veins, bro.
Yeah, and we grew up in Oakland.
Yeah.
Come on, cuz. Get out of here, cuz.
All right, so you guys are performing together. You guys got some popularity going on with some of the music. At what point did you guys say, okay, bro, when the Los Rakas was baptized and said, this is how we doing it, this is how we're gonna get it together, and we're gonna move forward in this direction? At what point that happened?
I want to say that there was a lot of moments. Just like, really like it's really like God or our ancestors really just guiding us and really putting us in a position to be like,
beautiful.
You know, okay, this is happening. You know what I mean? So I remember K-Dub, you know, K-Dub, he had he still has a thing that he has, it's called Hood Games. It's called Hood Games. It was basically like urban kids, people in the community, like in the hoods that are skateboarders.
Yeah.
This is the first time I see black skateboarders, Latino skateboarders. You know, usually it's just white kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for us in Oakland, see, this is kind of like taboo at the time.
Yeah.
The hell?
What the fuck is going on
he's
here?
Like, we want you to come perform.
This white boy shit right here, bro. Yeah.
So we performing at the first Hood Games ever, right? Now it's like he got a skate park, you know, and the Ephemery Park over there in West Oakland. Like he's done big things, you know what I mean?
Wow, respect, dude.
He even had his own sandals and the whole thing in Payless. You know what I mean? So K-Dub has done big things ever since. And then
beautiful.
But he put us in a position where he did the second Hood Games in Crenshaw in LA. And Uncle Scott, which is like his best friend, you know what I mean? Scott calls me. And Scott has always been serious, like very, just rude, right? But for some reason,
blunt.
Yeah.
Shout out Sky. I just talked to Sky. That's crazy.
We get along with the rude boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And so Scott calls me with an attitude, and I like, he's messing with me right
Yeah.
now, right? I was like, what's up, dog? Like, what you want? Like, and he's like, hey, you want to fly or do you want to drive? We're gonna do hood games in Crenshaw, and we want you guys to come. But he was like, but what'd he say? You remember what he said? I forgot. But anyways, he goes, you guys want to fly? You guys want to drive, right? I'm like, I'll drive, right?
Yeah.
A bucket. I had a fucking bucket. A Ford Escort.
Oh yeah, bro. We all had one, big dog.
A 1998 Ford Escort stick shift. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm like, I'll drive. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna pocket some of that money. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking like a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't know any better.
And as we're driving towards over there, Dune was like, yo, people keep saying that we need to be a duo, right? That we need to come up with a name. And we driving, and I'm driving the stick.
It was just you two in the
me
car.
and him, yeah.
Okay.
The stick shift the clutch is getting hot. You know what I'm saying? To the point that I can't even shift the gears no more, so I gotta pull over. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta pull over.
Like a mission, like a movie.
Yeah. I've been there before, bro.
So we gotta pull over or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, for sure. Like, like it's time. Like, people want us as a duo. Everybody keep asking us, like, they don't want us as solo artists. Everybody think that we're a duo. So let's come up with a name. And then we just start throwing out ideas. And I'm like, Los Rakas. He said, that's it. I'm like, nah.
You said it as a joke.
Yeah, as a joke. Thanks.
It's kind of like a joke, but at the same time, it was a little bit of seriousness in it because I've always been the type of kid that I always embrace like the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the rebel, that rebellious spirit in me, right? It's always been
Go against the grain.
Go against the grain. And I already knew like Raka in Panama is like not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
It's like Naco, right?
Yeah.
Right? You know what that means? Mm-hmm. So Naco's
like a knucklehead.
No, they call
like
people
a ghetto,
from the
ghetto,
ghetto.
ghetto, ghetto boy.
Exactly.
like a ghetto boy, a hood boy.
Yeah.
And so I threw it out there, and then Doom was like, "That's it." But I'm like, "You sure?" Like, and he's like,
"Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, man. People, whenever people hear it, they gonna know that we from Panama." And now Panama was my thing because my name was Panama. So Panama was everything. Panama this, Panama that, Panama. I was like, okay, so people gonna know that we from Panama.
Yeah.
And then we gonna create a movement with that. You know what I mean? It's like a meaningful. You know what I mean? It's like a ideología. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. You know, it's
he said it. He said it.
Thousands of people with our logos tattooed on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was watching that. You got people tattooing your guys' logo on, bro. That's deep.
And they embrace the whole Raka name now.
Yeah.
Back then, if you was to call somebody a Rakataka back home in Panama, they'd be like,
offensive.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, offensive.
No.
But now they're like, yeah, I'm a Raka.
I'm a Raka.
You feel me? Just because I'm from the hood doesn't mean this and this and this and that. You know what I mean? So gay people they're in identity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys started a whole culture.
Yeah.
And we like, bro, like, we're not political dudes. You know what I mean? Like, we do got political songs and stuff like that, and we talk about for Latino and stuff, but it's just what's right from wrong. That's what I feel like. I don't feel like, it's not like we perfect and we righteous and we like
100%.
Nah, we just like Oakland titles, like, bro, stand for what you believe in, you know what I mean? Stand for something, you know what I mean? Be proud of who you are. You
and
know
do
what
right.
I mean?
And do right.
All of that stuff. So that's what the message that we like to give, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro,
Be
beautiful.
proud of where you from. Because I even got family, man, that don't like saying where they from.
Yeah.
Like, they want to say that they from the good side of it. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I guess being the American kid, you get to really embrace everything when you go back home and be like, nah, this is actually dope.
You get to missing it and stuff.
You get to missing it. You be like, nah, you tripping, bro. Why would you not like that? You know what I'm saying? Because the Rakas, if you peep game back home during the time, like the Rakas, the real Rakatakas, they used to have like earrings, right? Like custom made earrings that they were designed in Panama with, for example, like my mom used to have my name on it, like, and it's Rico.
Yeah.
but then they would have like a Gillette, like let's just say like a Gillette style with gold. It's gold though.
Yeah.
It's a Gillette earring.
Yeah.
A gold Gillette earring.
You know what I'm saying? And all the hood girls used to wear stuff like that. And
that was the style.
Rings, you know what I'm saying? And when I was out here, you don't see that out here.
Yeah.
So you're like, man, that's fashion. That's clean. That's
yeah.
Whoa. Like if we was to bring that over here, we gonna change the game up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
back home, if they're not traveling, they don't get to see, they probably don't understand what they're creating.
They're just in that circle, that little bubble.
That little bubble. So, you know, outside of the ghetto, me being in California, I used to be like, man, that's fire. And then also like the buses, like the public transportation, the Diablo Rojos, which they call them back home in Panama. It's like the buses, like, yo, was so fire because, you know, they'll paint them, they have crazy designs, they have names on them, like this
black
bus
lights
called,
inside and everything.
Yeah.
That's how it was in Mexico growing up too.
Yeah, so they'll have a name. Let's just say that the name is called Los Rakas, the name of that bus, right?
Yeah.
So when you go into school, you know what I'm saying, or you leaving school, sometimes you see a bus coming and it's going to get you on time, and it's empty, but you're like, I'm gonna wait for the other one. I want to get in the cool bus.
All the girls gonna be all the cool guys and the girls.
That's where the party's at, bro.
That's where the party's at and on top of that, the music was slapping.
Yeah,
playing music out loud.
And you know, like the bus was very important during that era because that's where you get to hear music that you never heard before. Like you get to hear like all the exclusive, and you'd be like, oh shit, I need that mix.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they will have their own custom mixes. Like this bus will have their own mix of songs that are popular,
right?
So maybe songs that you never heard before,
right?
So you'd be like, yo, what mix is that? You know what I'm saying? And then they just start getting leaked all over the internet, and you know, and they call it La Tanda del Bus.
That's why our second mixtape is called Panabaitu with La Tanda del Bus.
Oh,
that's where we got it from.
Shit.
We always incorporate our Oakland culture or our Panamanian culture in what we do, our merchandise, our music, you know, videos. Yeah,
beautiful, bro.
But see, things like that is what gets missed sometimes when people go to other countries like Panama, Mexico, whatever, and they go to the hood. You know, you see it from afar and you're like, oh, you know, maybe this is not so pretty or whatever, but they're missing the culture. That's the beautiful thing. That's the vibrant part of it. There's like this culture that oftentimes is like in a little bubble. Yeah. And it's, you know, you're being unique. That's where a lot of this good music comes in because they're, you know, they're making what they can with the resources they have. For fashion, for music, and then amazing stuff gets created, right?
For sure.
Like some of the things they're wearing, they might not be wearing it because that's what they wanted, but they wanted some look that they couldn't afford, so they created their own look.
Exactly.
And that's, you know, that's what
that era was so dope. You know what I mean? I feel like the internet has kind of washed it away because when you go on Instagram, now you get to see what's happening in this side of the world, that part of the world.
It's good and it's bad too. You know what I mean? Because back in the days, it was more pure. It wasn't polluted. Where outside culture.
Well, you know how I think about it. I think about it like what's that island where? Oh my God, I forget. But basically, you know, when you have islands where animals have been stranded from the mainland, and there's all kinds of different rare animals there. Yeah. That's how it was. We had all these different little islands and all these hoods are in the world. They didn't have access to the internet because the internet was not there, and they created their unique thing. And now, because of the internet, everybody's just trying to copy whatever's the biggest thing. For sure. And we're missing some of that, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Because it used to be not even just, I don't know how it was in Panama, but I know in Mexico, like, the look and the music was different just from neighborhood to neighborhood. Not even within another country. Like, you go from this side, Guadalajara, which is where I'm from, to the other side is like different look, different music. And that we're missing a lot of that.
It's like Oakland and San Francisco. You know, when we were growing up, you can tell a motherfucker from San Francisco from a mile away. And we right here. It's like, he's from Oakland. He's definitely from Oakland. He's from San Francisco.
Respect. All right, so you guys are on this trip. You guys come up with the name. How'd the show go, bro? I'm sure you guys rocked it, right?
Yeah. I think we undefeated, man, when it comes to performing. Shit, no practice, too. Like, we don't need to practice, and we still gonna come kill the show.
That's the best right there, bro.
Because it's a feeling, you know what I'm saying? It's like creating music, you know what I'm saying? Like when we on stage performing, it's a feeling. It's not like, you know, some people might rehearse and, you know, but a lot of things might happen during the show that won't happen on the next show. So sometimes you got to just freestyle it.
Yeah.
And yeah, for sure, we killed it, you know. We were sponsored by LRG at that moment.
Yeah.
Games was, you know, LRG sponsored us that day.
LRG, holla at us.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, it was different, you know what I mean? Because I remember seeing like black people skateboarding and really killing it. I'm like, yo, I never seen so many black skaters doing this, you know? So it was like, even that right there was like cultural. Like, it's like the culture is changing.
Yeah, it's evolving. It's evolving, bro.
Whoa, we were a part of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Respect.
we were born at a skate park. You know the name?
Yeah.
Los Rakas was born at a skate park in East Oakland and in Crenshaw. You know what I'm saying?
Dude. Straight up.
Yeah, we just rocked it. We killed it. And then we never looked back, bro. After that, like Cuz was saying, we shot a video for a song called Mi Barrio, and shout out to John Mazik. He works with Snoop Dogg right now. He does Snoop Dogg's podcast.
Yeah.
He does DGN.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the producer for that. And so John Mazik, he really liked the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, I want to shoot a video to it. So at the moment, he was shooting the video. He had all the camera equipment. You know, back in the days, you used to have the
big ass brick.
Big ass brick.
Yeah, you needed that to get the quality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was like, I'm shooting a video for Murs, right? He's in the rapper Murs. Shout out to Murs too. Been on tour with him. And he goes, but when I take a break, I'm gonna shoot videos with y'all.
Yeah.
Right? So he had the equipment and he would, you know, double dip.
Right?
Yeah. And he shot the video for us and it went viral, you know, because at the time.
What year was this?
2005.
Damn.
2005. And at the time, especially in Panama, people didn't have that quality style of videos.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when we had that style and the quality and we had the Panamanian flags, everybody from Panama was like, yo,
what?
You guys who's this?
Yeah, putting us on the map, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Respect.
So I remember chilling and some of my family from Panama called me. They were like, yo, your video's all over the TV out here. You know, like, and I'm like, yo, for real?
How'd it get over there?
How'd it get over there?
Yeah.
So it just happened on its own, bro.
Yeah, it was God, bro. It was God. Like, somebody became a fan of us and put it on MTV because a lot of people tell us that, like, oh, my first time was seeing it on MTV. And people in Mexico, people in Chile, people in Argentina, you know?
Wow, bro.
Yeah, so I remember hearing that. And then at the time, Dune couldn't travel.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have his papers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm like, I got to go over there. You know what I'm saying? I got to go see what's going on.
Yeah, I got to go feel that.
I got to go feel that.
Yeah.
So I went over there. And the first day that I get there, I meet up with this legend from Panama, one of my favorite artists. His name is Japanese. He like king of the dance hall of Panama. Like, legendary. You know
Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese.
Okay.
Tattoos in the face, gold grill.
Yeah. He looked like
all of it, bro.
He looked like a 90 drug dealer, Panamanian drug dealer for sure.
Yeah.
Big ass chains.
Yeah.
You know, very generous guy, you know what I'm saying? Very helpful, like, you know what I'm saying? This dude named Bolon meets me at the barbershop because the first day I got there, he was like, I went to the barbershop and people recognized me, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, yo, they played me the video,
shit,
you know what I'm saying, at the
bro.
barbershop. And I was like, yeah, that's me, yeah.
That's
woo-woo.
sick.
And the homie was like, his name is Tato. Tato was like, yo, I'm going to call Bolon. You want to meet Japanese? I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's do it, right? So Bolon comes through, and Bolon was like, he likes the video. He was like, yeah, I'm going to call Japa right now. So he calls Japa, and then Japa was like, yeah, bring him through. So I go to Japa's house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go to his family house or whatever. I pull up on Japa. Japa's over there with his tank top, you know, like real mafioso, right?
Right.
He's sitting on the couch. I walk in, you know, his wife over there, you know, kids were running around. And he was like, rap for me.
Yeah.
I had to bust a rap.
On the spot.
I was like, yo, but at the time I was ready. You know what I'm saying? I used to have my raps ready. You know what I'm saying? You know, young and hungry, right? You got the raps ready. So I started busting some raps. You know what I'm saying?
Did you freestyle it or did you have something written down already? Oh, okay.
I had hella shit written.
Okay.
So I started busting my raps, and then Jabba was like, yeah, I'm gonna take you to the TV show right now. So he started putting on his clothes. He brought his chains out. You know what I'm saying? We hop in the BMW. By the way, Jabba don't know how to drive. Right?
Oh shit!
So he has a BMW, but somebody else got to drive it for him.
No shit, bro.
Yeah, a red BMW. So I'm like, all right, he would have a chauffeur, right? Whoever could drive it, you drive it, and then we sit it in the back or whatever. He's chopping it up with me. He's like, I really like that video. Woo woo. So it takes me to this big TV show called Shark Attack, right?
Yeah.
At the time, it's the biggest TV show
in Panama.
in Panama. Yeah, this happened all in one fucking few hours. Me getting to Panama.
Shit,
Crazy.
So he had the plug out there, bro.
Oh yeah, he still got
he still got the plug out there.
He's a legend. You know what I'm saying? He's a legend, well respected. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the pioneers for sure.
Respect.
And so he opened up that door for us, you know, back home.
Awesome,
and then,
bro.
Got the interview, and after that it was lit. You know what I'm saying? Like now everybody start hitting me, and he takes me the next day. He takes me to the studio.
Yeah.
Right? It's so funny, right? Because he got overall. It's hella hot in Panama, right? This dude got overalls. He got the New York Yankee hat. You know, one with the like our logo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With the fur.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have been burning.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, this nigga hot for sure. Then he got Timberlands. Oh my God.
So he had that
in New York.
Yeah,
man.
he had that New York look going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he takes me to the studio with a.
Is he a big boy?
Yeah,
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
So he was burning up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Boy was melting, huh?
But he I don't know. He knew he
wasn't
knew how to-
sweating.
He wasn't sweating. He knew how to do it. I'm like, this nigga's a legend. He don't even sweat.
He don't even sweat.
So we get to the studio, and he introduces me to in Panama we call him nigga, like nigga.
Yeah.
N-I-G-G-A. That's his artist name. Back then, right?
And he wasn't even black.
The reason why they call him nigga.
We're gonna put a picture of him right here.
The reason why they call him nigga is because all the legends from Panama are all black people.
Yeah.
All black artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they like how he sang. And they were like, you sing like a nigga.
So that's
That's how he got the name.
Tú cantas como un nigga. Y así es que le dieron el nombre.
El
nigga.
nombre.
Pero, he ended up, now that he became a mainstream artist, for those who don't know, nigga is actually DJ Flex.
Oh, shit.
Flex, they call him Flex.
Yeah.
Big in Mexico. Yes, que te quiero.
All right, yeah.
Te quiero.
That's nigga.
No
Okay. Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, so I go to the studio with him because he's part of the same crew as Japa.
Japanese crew.
Japanese is part of a crew called Scared Crew, which is all like dance hall, reggae, like hardcore, you know what I mean? With this other Panamanian legend named Danger Man.
Yeah.
Right? That's their crew. It's like me and him. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but he was like the singer. You know what I'm saying? And so he brings me over there, and I start chopping it up with them. They really like me because I could rap in English. They're like,
Right.
oh, I need you to rap on this. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have an accent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? So they were like, yeah, I need you to rap on this. And that's how I really got in the mix with these guys, right? And being in the studio with Nia, then I started meeting more artists, and then I started doing more collaborations. And then I got to see how they would work in the studio, with all the legendaries like Original Dan. I got to see Danger Man work in the studio.
Damn,
Blasio. I did a song with Miguel Angel.
How'd that feel, bro? Like you coming from Oakland, you got all this success, right? And then you come back to your roots, bro. And now you're in a different room with all these stars, with the legends. How'd that feel for you, bro?
Man, at the moment,
did it?
Real blood,
Yeah. Look at that. That's crazy, bro. Me too.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm very curious about that. Like, did you soak that shit in and be like, bro, I'm in a fucking room
You was normal, like.
with legends
Or
here?
was it happening so fast that you were just living it? Did you even have time to think about it?
man, I don't even think I had time to really think about it. It was just more like, it was normal for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling with these guys, but I'm also learning. I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that they even let me just sit there and watch them work.
Respect.
You know what I'm saying? And I got to chill. And I met this other artist named Psycho, which he's another Panamanian legend, right? And I really got to like, Psycho used to take me everywhere with him. You know, Japa just dropped me off. It was like, he dropped me off.
I'll pick you up in a little bit.
Pick you up in a little bit. And after that, I'm like kicking it with everybody. I didn't even have to hit up Japa. You know, Japa in his own world doing his own thing, right? But he left me there with these guys.
That's sick.
And these dudes really embraced me. You know what I mean? They treated me like their
all
brother,
love.
You know what I mean? And then little by little, I started really wanting like, man, I want to do music in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like, this sounds good. Like, I like what these guys are doing because I'm like, yo, this is fire. You know what I'm saying? It's just naturally I wanted to do it in Spanish too, right?
Yeah, because if you listen to the first mixtape, he's rapping more in English.
Right.
And you were all Spanish. Yeah.
And then when he went over there.
Yeah, and then so I'm kicking it with I'm kicking it with Psycho. You know, he's shooting videos. I'm watching the whole how these guys hustle.
How they operate.
You know what I'm saying? Even Japa, you know what I'm saying? And Psycho, the reason he ended up telling me later on, he said the reason why he'll bring me around and have me in all his videos was he said because I look like Pharrell.
That's the only reason, bro.
He'll come pick me up in the hood too. He'll come pick me up all the way in Panama.
Hey, put the glasses on, bro. Put the glasses on.
Yeah, he'll come pick me up in the hood. He'll come find me,
shit.
and you know everybody be impressed because I like, man, these people really coming in, and I'll be in the hood though. I'm talking about where my family from is really hood. You know what I'm saying? So these guys pulling up over
from
there
the low bottom.
Yeah. So then, you know, Psycho tell me one day, he's like, man, I like how you rap in English, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you was to rap in Spanish, how you rap in English, you would be different. Nobody would sound like you. You'd be the only one to do that. You know what I mean?
Boom.
It was like an injection, you know what I mean, in my brain. Cause I was like, kind of like, I'm like,
damn.
for real. Like, but how would I be able to have that cadence?
Yeah.
Because the English cadence is a little bit different than the Spanish cadence.
Right.
You know what I mean? The timing, where the rhyme ends, and, you know. So, you know, that just stayed in my mind. And I remember just being out there, supposed to be for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then Doom was like, yo, we got a show next week.
Get your ass over here, bro.
What you doing, man? We got a show next week, bro. What you got going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming.
And I believed him.
Oh, shit.
Yo, I swear to you, bro, like, the energy, I couldn't leave it.
No, I feel it.
I'll go to the airport.
I feel it.
I'll go to the airport, literally. And I was like, nah, I can't go. I'll turn my ass right back around. I'll be like, nah, I can't go.
Like a movie.
And then dude's
Movie
like,
at Rocking the Show by myself.
Where are you, bro? I thought you said you was coming.
Órale, cabrón, vámonos.
Next week, bro. Next week turned into a year.
Oh, no. Shit,
Because
bro.
not only that, you know what I'm saying, at the moment, I'm like, no, I got to take full advantage of it because I'm in the mix with the legends.
Yeah, bro.
How old are you at this time?
Like 18.
So you were just picking up, game, bro.
Right away. Like, it was like instant. Like, it wasn't like I'll take a break next day or...
No, it was
every day I was in the mix with somebody. I was kicking it with the Waka crew. I was kicking it with and I was performing too. You know what I'm saying?
I was just gonna ask you.
I was performing in the hood.
I'm sure they had you on the mic, man. Let's get up here and let's cut it.
People were really excited to see me. You know what I mean? Because of the whole video. You know, of course they were asking for him, and you know I had to play it off like yeah. I didn't want to say that he didn't have his papers at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember going to newspaper interviews. Japa even would take time out of his schedule to take me to go do interviews like on
Damn, he
like,
blessed you, bro.
Nah, for real. I love Japa.
That's my blessed OG. You.
And I remember we in the BMW one day, right? And he seen one of my interviews on the newspaper, right? We in the back. Somebody else is driving the Beamer. He always had different kind of niggas driving the car, right? We in the back. And he's like looking at me, you know. And he like, what kind of interview was he? Basically clowning me about one of the interviews, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you... When you go and do interviews, bro, you gotta say you made song with 50 Cent. Yeah. Like that. Like, you know, basically.
You gotta pump it up.
You gotta pump it up.
You gotta pump it up, bro.
You gotta like, bro, what you doing? Like, lie. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like exaggerate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then in my mind, I'm like, I was in the studio where 50 Cent recorded this song. So you know what? I was in the studio with 50 Cent.
Right.
So the next interview, I went and said, I work with 50 Cent.
I'm over here reading articles from Panama newspaper like, Los Rakas con 50 Cent.
When did that happen?
When we did that?
That's all John.
With Akon, they have some with Akon. Damn, Rico over there working.
Did it? Hey, you're like, don't forget about me, big dog.
A lot of the homies, big homies, were getting mad at Rico because he's like, bro, this is irresponsible, brother. You got this nigga over here doing shows, but it was necessary. Like looking at it now, it was necessary because when Rico came back with all that game, it brought a whole different change to Los Rakas because he came back rapping in Spanish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He came back with different tools. You know what I mean? Like, hey, don't look. Hey, sometimes when you write a verse, you can write the last bar. You can don't start with the first bar. Start with the last bar. Like little technical stuff like that. He came back from Panama.
They help you guys level up.
And I was over here doing the same thing with the legends from out here. I was kicking it with the Jacka. You know, I was in shows where he 40. You know what I mean? So like what he was doing in Panama with the Panamanian,
you were doing your same thing
I was
too.
doing over here. You know what I mean?
Picking up game.
And I also took like a lot of the Bay Area hustle to Panama. You know, Panama is a small country. So I brought flyers, hella flyers. So I was passing out flyers like crazy.
Down in Panama.
We had our first mixtape where we had the video Mi Barrio. It was a double disc mixtape. You know what I mean? One side was the music, and the other side was the DVD of explaining who we are.
Yeah,
like a little documentary.
A little documentary about who we are, and then it had the Mi Barrio video. So what I ended up doing was, I ended up burning those CDs. Like I had like a big old stack of CDs, like DVD style, like that. And I'll give it to the bus drivers, anybody who had
play that shit.
So
brilliant,
anybody
bro.
who had TVs in their car,
play them over. Taxi drivers, fucking everybody.
To everybody, bro. So
Smart,
it was like,
bro.
I was out there really campaigning. You know, at the time, a lot of people probably didn't understand. You know what I mean? Because I remember people would tell Doom like, man, he ain't coming back. You know how people are sometimes, man. That when they trying to separate, divide, and conquer.
You know what
I'm saying? They're gonna say foul things to kind of like throw you a little bit off.
Right. That's the devil, bro.
Yeah.
So, but you know, me and him, we've always been straight up with each other. You know what I'm saying? So
you guys never had an ego with each other, huh?
Not ego. We fight because we brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there was no like, you know what I mean when I say ego, like you know.
Nah, not really, bro. Because we know our strength, our weaknesses.
Beautiful.
It's like the best duo. You feel me? It's like we complement each other real well. You know.
But that's not common, especially you guys were 18.
Yeah. Young.
You know, you starting to experience all this fame. Like the typical thing you see happen is, you start getting jealous of each other. Yeah. Oh wait, he's over there knocking to it, and I can't go. And like
for sure.
The fact that you guys were able to just stay grounded and put the egos aside and
learn.
Because at some point, I mean, obviously, the first time you're supposed to come back for that show, didn't, and decided to stay for a year. At some point, I'm assuming you guys had an actual conversation, be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay here for longer," or it was just like keep prolonging it, or
this little just kept prolonging. I kept believing him that he was coming next week for like 6 months till I was like, I don't think he's gonna come back. But I wasn't really mad because I was moving too. You know what I mean? I was with Kaiser from the team,
right?
And Kaiser would always be like, "Hey, I can wait till Rico comes back." You know what I mean? Instead of trying like divide us, he was always be like, "Hey, I can't wait till your cousin come back and we, you know what I mean?"
Right.
Like I had a good mentor instead of like for him, saying positive stuff instead of negative stuff.
You guys were also blessed with good people though, man, because just the stories, I mean, I'm not in the industry, but just like the stories I hear, what I read, right, the news, like you hear like so many people in your guys' situations are getting yanked.
For sure.
Or, there's a lot of stepping stones or a lot of backstabbing or just wrong people in their crowd.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys have been blessed with certain people that pointed you guys in the right direction.
Nah, for sure.
Keep you guys, that's a blessing, bro.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's always going to be, the negative people on the road, but for the most part, we've been blessed with good people on our side, bro.
So I got to ask this question, bro. You guys been doing it for over 20 years?
Yeah.
What keeps you guys hungry, bro? Like, what is it that makes you guys wake up and say, we got to keep fucking rolling another 20 years?
I mean, we dream big, you know. We have done a lot of good stuff. We have accomplished a lot. We have performed with a lot of our favorite artists, done songs with our favorite artists. We had worked with a lot of our favorite companies and brands and stuff. But the job ain't over, you know.
Never over.
The job ain't over, and this family too, you know what I mean. It's time for our family to live like we have lived, you know.
Beautiful, bro. That's beautiful.
That's what keeps us going, man. For sure, the fam, bro, the kids.
Yeah.
You know.
You have kids?
Yeah.
You have one, right?
Yeah.
I got a boy. So the thing is that, you know, we started at a young age, right? Mm-hmm. And we've been successful since the very beginning. And, you know, we didn't came so far for us to be like, oh, it's done.
Yeah. No, but a lot of people do that though, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
They hit a plateau
like,
and they just.
You guys are different, bro, because you guys started at a very early age and you guys are still together. You know how many crews are together and then after 5 or 10 years, just
for real,
right? And then they reunite 10 years later.
Exactly.
But you guys have stayed together, bro. That's beautiful.
Yeah, man. The mission is not fulfilled yet. You know, we
Amen,
still gotta,
bro.
We still have big goals, you know what I mean? Like, and we seen a lot of dope things in the music game, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, there's certain reasons why we had to pivot, you know what I mean? And but it's all been a blessing because it's all been a learning experience. You know, now we have an edge, you know what I mean?
An advantage too, bro.
Yeah, the edge, the experience, the talent, you know, these are things that immortalize you as a artist, you know what I mean? As an entrepreneur. And not only that, we've put up a lot of money into what we're doing. You know, we keep reinvesting. So it's like, you know, eventually that reinvesting is gonna, you know,
come back.
Pay off.
It's gonna pay off. Yeah. And we got a dope brand.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we only want to partner up with people that understand our brand. You know, we've partnered up with people in the past where they see the potential, but they don't understand the brand. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand who we are as people. They always want to compare us to this person, that person.
Yeah.
You got to compare us to the Panamanian legends, people like that. You know what I mean? Why? Because those are the people that we grew up listening to. But you know what happens is they can't compare us to those type of people because those people never made it really big. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who could they compare us to? Nobody. They'd be like, but
that's what I was saying earlier. Like, you guys are different, and that's the one thing like I love about when I went down the rabbit hole is your guys' music is different.
Yeah,
and I can't really pinpoint it, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
right. Where like you know, just in any business, like if you're gonna open a business, you got to be different, right? Because you're selling at a different angle. You have a different advantage. Right, you're just making yourself unique.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, I want to give you guys kudos is I love that you guys are different, bro. Right? A little bit of taste of this, a little bit of taste of that.
And you keep reinventing yourself.
Yeah. And bro.
I think the other unique thing, too, is obviously your music is unique and different. But you guys also, as you know, the interviews that I've listened from you guys and just talking now, you guys talk like CEOs. Like, you're understanding that, yes, you guys have
20
to be,
years.
You have to be artists.
Yeah.
But in order to create a brand, you have to talk and think like a CEO of this brand.
For sure.
To truly understand it, because, you know, the wrong partnership can ruin your brand. You might still make dope ass music.
Yeah.
But a brand is way beyond just music, right?
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that have your tattoos that may not listen to all your music because your brand is amazing.
Yeah.
And your music is amazing, but that's now two different things you guys created.
Yeah. That's a blessing too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes people, they might not like the music or might not even care about the music, but they like the clothing or they like, you know what I mean? And it's still part of the brand, so it's a win.
Same win-win.
And I think the other thing that is impressive is you guys have been doing this, the hustle from day one seems like the same way.
Yeah.
And I was listening to, which I don't know if you guys have started doing it. It doesn't sound like the Raka TV.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like
that was like during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Episode 20 or something. I was listening. You said, I think it was you that said something like, opportunity, you gotta make sure something. I think I might have.
You got to be ready for when opportunity comes.
Yeah. So
my high school teacher
preparation and opportunity have to meet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And literally, you guys been doing that because doing all these shows. Like at the beginning, I'm assuming not many people knew you, even though you guys were successful, not to this level.
Yeah.
And to do it and just keep at it, people didn't even understand what you were, singing or rapping, and so that was your preparation, so that when the opportunity came to you, when you went back home to Panama and all the stuff you were doing here, is like you guys were ready.
For sure.
When was it Japanese? Is that what you said?
Japanese, yeah.
When he told you like rap, like you were ready.
Exactly.
Right? You could have just
Locked and
been
loaded,
not ready
Exactly.
and ruined that opportunity right there.
Yeah.
And so is me and Danny talk all the time, and we have this discussion that we always disagreed on. Is like, you always need a little bit of luck, but that luck ain't shit if you're not prepared.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So in that situation, within hours of you showing up in Panama, now you're meeting this guy. He puts you on the spot. You're ready. Boom. That's all of this happened. What would have happened if you were not ready and you just fucking right? Like
it could have went a whole different way.
Like, all right, man, good meeting you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your ass out of here, dog.
Like, so, bro, good,
Yeah.
It's like when we went to our first tour with the Living Legends. Shout out the Living Legends, Grouch and Eli and them. All those shows that we did in Richmond and Oakland and San Francisco prepared us for our first tour. The crowd was like, for how long you guys been touring? Like, this is our first tour.
Oh shit!
Like, for real? You guys seen a season on stage?
Yeah.
Like, because we've been
practicing.
You know what I mean?
Been in the trenches.
yeah.
So, what's the wildest place that you went to, and so at some same time surprised that you had fans there?
Man, we went to Chile, bro. We went to Chile. And they said like, oh, Nas, which was one of my favorite artists, Nas sold out that venue last week. We sold it out the week after.
Wow.
Bro, and they were singing the songs, bro. Like, bro, they were singing the
loud.
songs super loud, bro.
What year was that?
Like 2014 or something like that?
Damn, bro. And that was your first.
That's the year you guys got nominated, right? 14?
No, I was like 17.
16, 17.
Yeah.
So in 14, that was your first time in Chile?
Yeah, for sure.
And you guys sold it out?
Yeah.
How'd you feel, bro?
I felt good, bro.
Yeah.
I felt good. Like, man, that was
beautiful,
like,
bro.
11 years or 10 years since we started. And the internet helped us, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Be everywhere.
Yeah.
We were, like, when we went to Barranquilla, performing in Barranquilla, we didn't know that we were hot in Barranquilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people had tattoo of his song, Nunca Cambiaré, over there. It's like an anthem over there, you know what I mean?
But they didn't know who sang the song.
Oh shit.
It was that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like it was like one of the most viral songs on TV and all this other stuff, but they didn't know who did the song.
Yeah.
But we found this out once we got to Barranquilla, like 10 years later.
Yeah.
No.
Like, yeah.
What?
Like, man, nobody gave us the message.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So, it's all been a learning experience, when it comes to that,
So, but hold on, bro. So how was their vibe when you guys got on stage and started singing that song?
It was the same vibe.
Yeah. They sang that song hella loud.
They were so juiced to see us over there.
That's beautiful,
Because we was like in the, Barranquilla is like a little pueblito,
Yeah.
Like, and for us to be over there, they were so juiced. We've been to Colombia hella times. We've been to like Bogotá,
Medellín.
Medellín bastante veces, pero cuando fuimos a Barranquilla por primera vez, it was like an honor for them, what I mean? And then we was in the streets with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly,
Like we was walking around, shaking hands, kissing the baby. It was dope.
Kissing the baby, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, it was good.
So you guys been around the world, right? You guys do your tour.
Yeah.
I mean, we still got to go more places.
Yeah, right,
for
right. What's been your guys? I mean, I'm sure you guys have many favorite places, but what's the one place like, man, we just love going out there? Like that's the place, like, man, where you guys return multiple times and the energy's been the same. What's that one place for you?
I love Mexico, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love Mexico.
We're passionate.
Mexico treat us like rock stars.
Yeah, respect.
With no fear. You know, like I tell you about the Panamanian fans, but they can be your fans, but they want to take a picture with you. They call you over here.
You were saying that earlier, bro.
Yeah, like nah. Dog.
Why I gotta go over there if you the one that want to take a picture?
I know you wouldn't do that if it was J Balvin. You bring your ass over here. Shit.
Yeah, but man, Mexico, we love Mexico.
What cities in Mexico have you guys?
We've been on the few cities, Monterrey.
Monterrey.
There's another one called San Luis.
San Luis Potosí.
San Luis Potosí.
Yeah, San Luis Potosí.
Guadalajara, have you guys been in Guadalajara?
Not yet.
No,
But the capital, you know, we mainly be going to the capital though. But I can't wait to go all the places in Mexico.
Man, if you guys ever go to Guadalajara, I'd like to go.
Okay,
Yeah,
for sure.
Fucking let us know.
Okay.
For sure.
Guadalajara, you
Yeah.
ready?
Ready, baby. Call
Guadalajara is
Oh.
a huge music hub. It's like similar to Monterrey.
Okay.
There's tons of Mexican musicians that come out of there.
Dope.
I mean, is the birthplace of mariachi.
Oh, okay, for sure.
where
No,
Mariachi
Mexico
was
got
born.
it on live for sure.
Yeah.
Mexican.
What's the question here? You guys made a bold business decision at one point,
Okay.
Yeah.
including walking away from label deals, right? What's the one lesson that came from taking that risk?
Well, one risk I can tell you we did, man, in Panama. We did a show in Panama, but we said we want to throw our own show. We don't want. We want to throw the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sell the beer, sell everything.
Our first show in Panama.
Our first show in Panama.
The very first show in Panama.
Our very first show in Panama, yeah. Together.
You know, long story short, you know, the people that was there had a great time. A lot of people were singing it off the top of their lungs too.
Yeah, the crowd was crazy, for
Yeah.
sure. The energy was there.
But we lost money. You feel me? We lost like $15,000, bro.
Oh, shit.
I don't know, something around
It was
that.
like 15K, yeah. We
You
lost
know,
it, yeah.
and you know, it was a learning experience. We learned from that. You know, maybe the tickets were a little more too expensive. Maybe, you know, we should have cut more time to promote it, like three months ahead. We learned from that, but you know, like the next day or 2 days after, we got a call from Boost Mobile that they wanted to do a commercial with us for like double the money that we lost.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
And he's like,
Yeah, because we were like, I
Hey,
remember
he works in, man,
yeah,
homie.
we were staying at an Airbnb, like a condo, beautiful view. And I remember we just watching TV and we kind of just like down, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
damn,
Man,
bro.
we lost on this one,
You
bro.
know, you start all the scenarios you start painting. Man, we should have just fucking made it an open bar. You know, we should have let the ladies in free. You know, you start thinking of all different like strategies, right? And then we were like also thinking like, man, there was a lot of haters, bro. That didn't support the show.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that didn't want this show to happen and they didn't give us, for us being our first time in Panama doing a show, we thought that the whole Panamanian industry was going to embrace it.
Like the industry,
come out and show us some love, you know, because that's all we do is rep for them.
Yeah.
You know, if we blow up, y'all going to blow up too because we're going to
100%.
bring all y'all with us.
Right.
But they didn't think like that. They probably felt some kind of way in their heart like, nah, we can't support them. You know what I mean? They already got the ball rolling.
That ego.
The ego, you know what I'm saying? And that was the wrong people to do it with because we want to help, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we love our culture, you know what I'm saying? And we feel like we would be stronger together than separate, you know what I mean? So, those things happen and, like, I remember Japa pulls up. He pulls up the next day, right? But he was supposed to show up to the show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when he pulls up in the door, he walks up like mafioso style.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Walks up with all the swag, walking up to, he said, I didn't come to the show because I had to go to the hospital. We're looking at him like,
You have to go to the hospital, huh?
whatever.
That's messed up, big dog.
I mean, it's been so many experiences. What was the
But then what you were saying, we were in the Airbnb and then we got the call from Boost Mobile.
We got the call. It was just, these are things that happen, bro, when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that was a blessing from, like, bro, that was God. Bro, that was God telling us, like, y'all doing the right thing.
Right.
Like, keep doing.
Keep going.
You feel me? Keep going. Like, that good risk. That was good risk that you guys took. You know what I mean?
And
Here.
you learned.
Here's double of what you guys spent. You know what I mean?
Beautiful, bro.
Thank you, God.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
It was a blessing. And even with man, we done walked away from plenty of deals that didn't benefit us.
Right.
Because we know our brand, we know our value. You know what I'm saying?
And that's important for people to hear, bro, because so many people get locked into things they don't feel, but they get desperate and they make a wrong move that hinders them for a long time. And the fact that you guys had the courage for sometimes to just walk away because it just ain't right.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
So what is that? Are those things that you guys talk about? Like, hey, before we make this deal, let's both get on the same page.
Oh, for sure.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? How do you guys work that out? Because a lot of entrepreneurs have business partners, including myself.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people who are entrepreneurs are solo entrepreneurs, right? But to me, I think you can go far by yourself, but you can go so much further when you're with someone in a team. Yeah. And I believe in that to my core, right? I'm good by myself, but I'm greater in a team. Yeah. So can you just kind of elaborate on that? How do you guys communicate when it comes to making a decision in business?
Sometimes he might think something about it. I might think something. Like, for example, when we were signed to Universal, you know what I mean? It just felt like they were hindering our momentum.
Okay.
Because we had a lot of momentum during this time. You know what I mean? And every time we wanted to release music, they would do something to block the release of the song.
Right.
Oh no, we got to push it 3 months later. Oh, you guys can't release music. Oh, you guys can't do this. You can't. So it was a lot of hindrance, right?
Yeah.
We yo, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? I thought you guys want to blow us up. We ready to go.
And you guys are putting the fucking brakes on us, bro.
They kept putting the brakes on us. You know what I mean? And
downshifting that motherfucker, man.
Yeah. So we start going to the meetings. You know what I mean? We start pulling up to the meetings and sitting with all the executives and doing all of that other stuff. And we start seeing, man, that these people didn't really know what they were doing. They didn't understand our brand. They kept asking us questions, weird ass questions. How did you guys do this? How did you guys do that?
They don't have a clue.
How is it that you guys have such a strong American fan base? People that don't even speak Spanish like your music, right? Mm-hmm. And we wondering, we what has this got to do with anything? Put the music out, blow us up.
Yeah.
Put it on all your little TV stations.
Yeah, radio stations.
Blow it up. We ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And then we start paying attention more and more and more. We start looking into our record deal that we signed. Mm-hmm. And we realized that the 360 deal that we had signed was no good. You know what I mean? They're going to take a piece of our merchandise. They're going to take a piece of, if we get a deal on, let's just say we get a licensing deal, we do a commercial, they get a piece of everything, right? But they're taking 40% of not putting in no work. And the reason why I say it would be different if they put in the work.
Right.
But our whole career, we didn't out-hustle everybody.
Wow.
Me and this guy, right?
Wow.
We didn't out-hustle everybody.
Respect.
Even the record label couldn't keep up with our hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because they were trying to block us and do all that, but we still was
So not only were they not contributing, they were slowing you fucking down.
They were slowing us down. And we were, even though we had the chains on, we were still
moving.
Still pulling it, right? And
chain movers, baby.
Yeah. And I remember I was in Puerto Rico at this time, you know what I mean? And I remember looking at the contract and talking to our lawyer, and basically the deal, let's just say that we did have a platinum song, or to be successful, we were going to be stuck to that deal.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I start seeing the pattern. So it's we had a 5 album deal, right? Mm-hmm. But we only released 1 song in fucking 2 years of being signed, or 2 songs.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I'm if we got 5 albums, they just start doing a lot of weird stuff. We're going to be here for 10 years.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then now it started making sense, right? But then if we have a successful song, then what they're going to do is own our brand. They're going to own our name, So then now we're stuck not only with the music, but we stuck also with our brand.
Yeah.
So these are conversations that we would have to have, we got to get out of this deal, cuz. This ain't benefiting us at all.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I feel like they're blocking us.
Yeah.
And maybe it's strategic, So, and we've had plenty of conversations like that where we're do we want to be bosses, do we want to be kings or do we want to be slaves?
Man,
you know,
brilliant.
And we will have to make those decisions. And then, you know, of course, you know, we're going back and forth. And it's been one of the hardest decisions that we had to make because we had everything rolling for ourselves. And I remember Doom was like, we just had signed to a booking agency. You know, our first show with the booking agency, we made like 20 racks. You know,
wow.
30 minutes, real quick. You know what I'm saying? 20 racks in 30 minutes. And we like, man, it's time for us to make a strong decision, bro. Like, we here, but we about to be slaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this what we want to do?
Yeah.
Do we want to be kings or do we want to be slaves? And Dude was like, man, but we right here.
Right.
Yeah, it's a hard one,
as
bro.
an artist, I mean, being signed by a big record label, that's one of the goals,
but we
right?
did it without the record label, though. When we got our
I was
booking
talking
agency.
about mainly the booking agency.
Yeah. So the booking agency, we brought that ourselves. It wasn't like the record label wasn't doing nothing for us. You know what I mean?
No, they were hindering you guys, bro.
So the booking agency but the business wasn't right. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like
It was one-sided.
It was one-sided. So to this day, it's like one of those moments where you think about like, man, did we make the right move?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as, you know, our integrity
Yeah.
and who we are as people, I think that we did make the right move.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because, you know, we could walk with our heads high. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we didn't bow down to, yo, you got to take these crumbs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was part of the reason why we had to walk away from a lot of things, bro. Because we wasn't getting treated fair. We wasn't getting compensated correctly.
Gotcha.
You know, once we understood the business side, we understood that the compensation wasn't fair. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's a beautiful way to put it, bro.
Yeah.
So what is advice you would give to somebody that's just, 16, 17, just starting out? Before they get to this point, what would be something you would tell them? Like,
Make sure you save your money. Especially when you're a different artist like us, you need the capital to be able to stand out. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they used to the same cookie cutter stuff. You know what I mean? Like you need money. You need marketing money, dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just work hard, practice your craft, and just be ready. You gotta stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. You know what I mean? You gotta work on your craft, save your money, because money is the part of the business. You know what I mean?
You gotta be strategic. You gotta think ahead. You know what I mean? Like you gotta like take yourself out of your body and think ahead. You know, this is what I want to do. This is what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? For real, like what you see going on in the music industry right now is what we did 10, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the time, people pretended they didn't see the vision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are different.
Yeah.
But isn't that the whole point of being an artist?
Amen,
It's
brother.
being different, right?
100%.
But when I look now, all of these sounds that we created a long time ago, not created, but we dipped in, we weren't afraid to try. Now you hear all your biggest favorite artists, right? All the mainstream artists in the world now doing all of the sounds that Los Rakas started. Right?
Yeah.
But who gets the credit for it? They do.
They do.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We still over here, like, it seems like we're beginning again, right? It's like a new beginning. But it's like, dog, go listen to our catalog. We've been doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We
And
got
it's
a
like-
list.
And I know that they saw us do it first, right?
Yes.
Right.
Because before us,
And they would never say it. They will never
Yeah,
say
they
it.
would never say it on interview. They say it when they see us.
Yeah. But
You know,
never
but
on
not
the interview.
Not when
Yep.
it counts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
they like say it on the interview, cuz.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
appreciate you, but say it on the interview.
Yeah. Give us some love, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, a shout out goes a long way for an artist.
Oh, yeah,
You know, especially
absolutely,
artists
bro.
like us that, come from humble beginnings, started from nothing. You know what I mean?
Much.
And all we want to do is just feed our family. We just proud to be who we are. We love our culture. That is Panama. And that's where reggaeton started from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you see how many artists we mentioned in this interview. Because
Yeah.
we got to mention the people that came before us, you know what I mean? And the people that gave us a hand and people that inspire us, you know what I mean?
And we don't benefit from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just love to give people their flowers. Because
Yeah.
we're not here on our own. We here because of those people too.
Speak, bro.
Everybody put a little piece
Yeah.
to help us get to where we are today. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these artists, you know.
I love to hear that, bro.
Yeah, a lot of these artists, you know, I'm seeing them now, and it's dope. You know what I mean? That now people finally caught up to the wave, but it's like, yo, send us a little shout out, cuz. You know you got that from us.
Yeah.
You know, like you wasn't in the hood. I ain't never seen you in there. So how did you learn how to do that?
Yeah.
You only learned that in the hood.
Yeah.
That's where we learned it from.
Yeah, that's right.
But you ain't never been to the hood. So how you know how to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, before Los Rakas, everybody was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The same sound.
Yep.
Over and 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 over again, right? We came through, we brought the swag to the hip hop in Spanish.
Yep.
We evolved hip hop in Spanish.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you know, hip hop is still brand new in Latin America, but at the time, they were rapping like early 80s, 90s flow.
Yeah.
Right.
We brought it to the future.
Yeah.
We gave it the sauce. We gave it that swag, right? Not only that, then we started doing R&B.
Yeah.
We brought it. We gave it the swag. Why? Because we grew up out here too. We
Yes.
understand the cadence. We understand the delivery, right? Then the reggae is in us already. We from Panama.
It's in the blood, bro.
It's in the bloodline,
Yeah.
right? So we were doing all of these things. House music.
Yes.
We even started experimenting with house music. You know what I mean? Because it was fly, like the slow house. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, we doing that. And people thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why y'all making house music?
I love that, bro.
Did the label
That's-
make y'all do that? Nah, bruh. Tired of rapping. Let me try something new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now you hear all the artists doing everything we did a long time ago.
That's what everybody's doing right now.
Everybody's doing it right now, but now everybody get a standing ovation, get a clap.
Right.
But what about Los Rakas?
But we coming
Yeah.
back. We coming back.
That's
Make sure you
right.
guys listen to our new album, La Rakasasa. We just came out with a new album. And it's a fun album, man.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of our album, Chancletas y Camiseta Bordada. That was when we were like young and hyphy. It was no love songs on there. It was just nothing but party, and creative and crazy stuff. La Rakasasa remind me of that project. It's like a lot of fun sound, you know.
Yeah.
We got a couple of love songs on La Rakasasa, but still it's like we having fun on there.
Beautiful,
Yeah, the
bro.
Rakazaza is right now is
When does that drop?
we already dropped.
It dropped already?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good feedback from it. Like,
Right on, bro.
you know, people is tapping back in. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
Everybody's starting to circle back around. You
Right
know what
on.
I mean? Everybody's like, yo, now we getting booked again for some shows.
Yeah, we going to
Right
Chicago. We got a show in Chicago coming soon. New York coming soon. We got a show in Panama coming soon.
Respect.
Yeah, New York. You know what I mean? We're going back to New York. You know, when you go back to New York, you know you popping.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, New York, so, you know,
Come
we
on.
excited, bro.
We coming in hot.
When are you guys going to New York? when?
In September.
I think it's
September.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
September.
So, yeah, summertime. You're going to be out
Beautiful,
you know.
bro.
Un verano en Nueva
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, what was the feeling when you guys first heard you guys were Grammy nominated, bro? What was that feeling like?
Man.
What went through your? I mean, I'm just assuming, right? I'm just assuming you guys went nuts, right? Maybe no.
For sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah, I remember doing Lyft. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
driving, depressed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
man, we was just on the mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm over here doing Lyft.
This is after you guys broke away from the label, right?
Yeah, this is after like all the doors start closing on us. You know what I mean? No doors was opening at this
I
time,
bet.
right? It was depressing, bro. To be real with you, you know what I
Okay.
mean? And I had to go do Lyft, bro. You know what I mean? And go drive, you know. And I remember waking up hella early because, you know, the earlier you get up, the more, you know, it's faster you could, you know, get more money faster, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember I go on Instagram. You know, everybody go on Instagram first when they wake up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Brushing my teeth on Instagram, and this girl from that we know from Miami, her name is Caitlin. She was like, I want to congratulate my friends Los Rakas for their Grammy nomination. And I'm like, am I reading this right? You know what I mean? I'm like, so I'm like, hold on, let me go Google real quick.
Yeah.
Go Google it. And then I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I see Beyonce. I see all of that. And at the end, I see Los Rakas. Grammy nomination for Best
I just got the chills.
Yeah, Latin rock, alternative, and urban album of the year. And I'm like,
What the?
Yo!
Shit, bro, I got goosebumps, dog.
I feel like it was God telling me to keep going.
Hell yeah.
I was really like sad at that time in my career, you know? I'm like, man. So it was probably like 5, 6 in the morning. I called Dune and I'm like, hey, get up. I was like, you Grammy-nominated, fool.
I was like,
Did you believe him?
I was like, am I dreaming? He said, no, you're not dreaming. Wake up. Like it took me a little while. I thought I was dreaming for real. I was like, get up, fool. Am I dreaming?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get hyped up into like after I got off of bed. I went for a run and stuff. I went for a run. I didn't really get excited.
Let it completely soak up.
Yeah. It was like, wake up, man, wake up. I was like, for sure, I'm gonna wake up. And then I didn't get hyped like 10 minutes later, like, bro, damn, bro.
This is crazy.
Real, Grammy-nominated, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that Grammy nomination, and then then I went to go pick up customers.
Yeah,
That's so surreal.
yeah, big ass smile.
I'm driving, I'm playing my music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, people ask you, what else do you do besides Lyft? I'm a Grammy-nominated artist.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
And they're like, oh, really?
I'm pumping that.
Listen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, play some of your music. Oh, you want to hear some? Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
They're like, oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Like, you should be trapped. Then they start pumping me
You're
up
getting
more.
that energy back, bro.
Yeah, and then I'm like, shout out to Lyft too, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it's the perfect job for like, people that's in the music game, entrepreneurs or whatever, also a good way to promote your music and also
Heck yeah.
learn how to talk to people, socialize.
That's an important one.
Because at that moment, I became introverted. I've always been outspoken.
You won't have to leave. You have to pay my bro for that commercial you just gave.
I was just gonna say, bro. Lift, come on, talk to Los Rakas, bro.
Outspoken, I've always had I've never had issues chopping it up with people and trying to find the connect. Never had an issue, but
that kind
the
of
music industry kind of just gave me a bad taste in my mouth.
Dim your light a little bit.
Just kind of I was disgusted by people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I didn't want to have to deal
I know
with
what
people.
you mean, bro.
You know what I mean? And that gave me a little spark again. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me start talking to people. You know what I mean? I start seeing my tips going up. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I remember I got like $100 tip. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So I started making a lot of good money doing Lyft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? I remember finally us going to the Grammys, right?
That's sick, bro.
Went to go rent the car. We rented a little Hyundai.
Hell
Drove
yeah.
all the way to LA. You know what I'm saying? Customized. He got this customized suit. They made me a suit too, right?
Yeah.
But the suit, like the pants was like all the way up here. They were flooding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cruzar Charco.
At the time, I guess it's the style now, but at
Yeah.
that time,
Yeah, but the time was it?
I'm like, nah. Is this a sabotage? I'm thinking like, what? Dude look fly.
Yeah, what about
look like this? Tight, the suit hella tight on me. I'm like, nah, bro. I didn't feel like myself. So you know what I mean? I went to the men's warehouse. You feel me?
Yeah.
I went to the men's warehouse and I picked up a Tony Montana suit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want that. You know what I'm saying? Boom, pulled up. We pulled up to the Grammys in the rental car, struggling artists, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we walk in that red carpet, we seen all the big celebrities and shit, you know what I mean? We here.
That's bananas, bro.
Whoa, we here.
We in
bruh.
the same room with these
no
fools.
money in our pockets, but we here. You
Yeah.
understand me? Yeah. We did this. You know what I mean? That was it was like a graduation present as an artist.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like you did that, right? We walking
From East Oakland, bro.
From
East Oakland, right? I see Maya, the R&B singer Maya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember coming from Panama and watching Maya on CMC, right? With Cisco.
Yeah.
It's all about me. So what you gonna do? And I remember being a kid, like, wow, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. I love this song. I was feeling Maya, right?
Yeah. Everybody was, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like maybe 11 years old, right?
Yeah.
to see her at the red carpet at the Grammy, I'm like, man, I made it.
That's crazy,
That's
bro.
Maya.
Yeah.
And then Maya, we locked eyes. You know what I'm saying?
You start singing, bro?
No, I didn't start singing. I was nervous. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Maya, we lock in, and you know, we both kind of like, you know, I don't know. It was like a weird moment, like, you know, like
It felt a connection.
it was a connection right there. I felt like if I wouldn't have been so shy, I would have hit her with the isms. So, but you know, we took a picture. But as a matter of fact, paparazzi caught the moment too. Though it's a moment where me and Maya just looking at each other, and we just like, like, ooh. Because we both were like matching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She got the red outfit on. I got the little red pañuelo. I'm looking like Tony Montana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was a dope moment, right? So boom, we like, you know, we start walking. We go to our seats, right? And our category comes. Guess who's presenting our award?
Maya. Get out of here, bro.
Rico like, oh no, this is ours.
We winning, bro.
We winning. I told him, it's too perfect. We winning.
I said, yo, get your speech ready. Am I lying?
What's it say? Hey, get your speech ready, bro.
We got this,
Get your
dog.
speech ready, bro.
Come
I
on.
already know what I'm going
I'm
to say.
coming in hot. I'm coming in hot, bro. Hell yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So she says the category happened so fast, but we didn't win. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like a stab to my heart, dog. I was like,
Boy, I wanted to give her a big ass hug, dog.
I was gonna give her a kiss on the lips.
Yeah, everything.
No, she was gonna be like,
Hey, those got to be like, get your ass off, dog. You're making us look bad, big dog.
So, you know, we didn't win. This is like the beginning part of the ceremony too. So we look how crazy we are, right? This is how crazy we are. Like we just so used to being disappointed. We're numb, right? To a lot of things, right? We're like, all right, we didn't win. You want to go to Roscoe's?
You guys' attitude is awesome, though.
Bro, we went to Roscoe's. We eating at Roscoe's. And then they start playing
It's still suited up?
Yeah,
still suited up? Hell
They
yeah,
start
bro.
playing the Grammys on TV. We're like, brother,
What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Right?
Yeah, what are we doing here? Let's go back.
So you guys went back.
We went back. We ate some Roscoe's, then we took our ass back.
Seen Bruno Mars perform. Seen Katy Perry.
Beyonce. Everybody was in the building. And at that moment was when I realized, I don't know what he realized, but for sure I was like, yo, we are those dudes. I don't care what anybody say.
That's right. That's right, bro.
Because a lot of people try to discredit us. Oh, but you guys are different, but you guys this, that, and the other. Oh, it's too experimental. It's not going to work. It's that, da. But we got a Grammy nomination.
Yeah.
We almost got the Grammy.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
100%.
On the first try, though. That was the first album.
That was our first album.
That's the first, like...
What year was that?
17.
Damn, bro.
17. And you know what's... Go ahead. You about to say something?
OG was like, this is my 88th album. And I finally get a Grammy nomination. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
On year one.
That's my first. That was our first.
Yeah. And
Wow.
and what's crazy about it is that we had just got out of our contract with Universal. You know what I mean?
So it was perfect.
It's perfect timing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
You guys didn't believe in us, but look how we leaving.
Yes.
With your project, because we don't own the project. They own the project.
Yeah, it was their project.
With a Grammy nomination. You know what I mean? So,
It was like he said, graduation, because we were with the label for 4 years. You feel me? So it was like 4 years of university. You know, we learned a lot. We learned how to write better. You know what I mean? We learned a lot of different stuff in the industry. So that was graduation right there.
Did they reach out to you guys after you guys got nominated? The label did?
nah, hell no.
No.
Nah, hell no. They didn't even, They didn't even care. It's like, it was, we learned a lot, man. Listen, everything has been a learning experience. We don't want to, we're not here to diss. We're just speaking facts, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Being signed to a major was a great experience. You know, even though they didn't do what they were supposed to do to help us elevate, I will say this. Sitting with some of the best songwriters in the world, those are things that you can't buy.
No.
You know what I mean? That experience, you can't buy that.
Amen.
So there's no regrets. You know what I mean? If we would have never took that chance and been signed to a major label, our music wouldn't be as potent as it is today. You
Straight
know,
up.
in 2025, the music that we are creating has evolved and it sounds big, like major label big.
Yeah.
But we're independent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need my people to go support, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like a lot of people, you know, haven't heard the new music. They still stuck on the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's dope.
Which is good, because that means that's good music.
That's dope. But you need to go check out the new stuff.
Yeah, we got to support the new stuff so
Yes.
you guys can keep creating more awesome,
Yeah,
dope
definitely.
stuff.
And
And they gonna love it though. You know what I mean? The new music. If they love the old stuff, the new music they gonna love even more because we gotten better. You know, a lot of artists go like this.
Yeah.
In terms of talent, we have actually gone up. We know our voices better. You know what I mean? We way better than back in the days.
Yeah. Lyrically, melodically, the voices, the mixes, the mastering.
Yeah.
You know, all of those things play a role. Having a good engineer,
Yeah.
you know, having good beat makers. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Yeah, man. So, you know, like the sound has evolved, you know what I mean? And I feel like, man, you know, in the music game, in the Latin music game, you know, I feel like we top 5. Even though the world might not know because it's oversaturated with so many other artists.
Yeah.
But I feel like you put us in a room with the best of them, they can't see us. For
sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Or we're going to bring something together that's going to sound great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, these guys have so many songwriters, so many different things. They got the steroids pumping in them.
Steroids.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And we don't have the steroids, but we got that quality, we got the culture, we got that realness.
Yes.
You feel me? Like a lot of the stuff that these guys do, they get it from us.
Yeah.
We do, let me give you another example. We start doing Afrobeat, then they start doing Afrobeat. Yeah. We do this, then they start doing it, right? And then it gets overlooked because
Trendsetters, bro.
Yeah, because they got more money for the marketing. That's why I was saying save your money for you need marketing.
But it seems like a lot more artists are becoming more and more independent now because of a lot of the issues they're having with major record labels, right?
They're using that as a trick too, though. Like a lot of people, a lot of artists say they're independent just to get the support of the people, but they really have either a label behind them or like a big investor behind them. You feel me? I say you independent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a true independent, I mean, it's coming out of your pocket.
Exactly.
There's
true
not
independent.
There's not some rich folk in the background just pumping US steroids with
Yeah,
money.
because it's independent labels that got big money.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're independent, but not really. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, facts.
Man, bro. Man, thank you guys, bro.
sure.
For reals, man. Thank you guys for blessing us with your time, man.
No doubt.
Definitely, bro. I can't say that enough. I think I told him 100 times, man. Thank you.
No, we
And
appreciate the opportunity, bro.
hell yeah, bro. And before we wrap this up, man, I want you to speak into that camera. Tell the folks here in Brentwood, Discovery Bay, Oakley, Pittsburgh, Antioch, Concord, Walnut Creek, anywhere in the Bay Area, where you guys are going to be this Saturday, at what time, and what you guys are performing, man. Let the people know, because I'm going to do everything in my power for the next 48 hours to get that name out there, get the show out there, get your guys' history out there. My kids already know. I talk to my kids to tell their friends at school, their high schools, the gym they're going to. I already sent your guys' information to all my employees, bro. All 45, bro. Right? Seriously, man. The people that I just met in Sacramento, I told them, hey, you guys know who they are? They're like, I've kind of heard of them. I was like, man, we're interviewing them, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, forward their stuff out there. Let's get their information. So tell the people, bro. Tell them who you are and where they can find you guys.
Yo, ¿cuál es la que es, mi gente? Nosotros somos Los Rakas. We got a brand new album called La Raka Salsa, and we're going to be performing with a live band this Saturday in Brentwood.
At the Emporium. You know what I mean? Don't miss it, man. It's going to be an experience. You know what I mean? Even if you don't speak Spanish, come learn. You know what I mean?
All ages, man. It's going to be a good time. Come through. Show starts at 8. You know what I mean? So pull up, man. All ages, bring the whole family.
Yes, sir.
Respect, bro. Respect.
Toda mi gente.
Todos, man. We gonna get it out there, baby. We gonna get it out there, man.
Yes,
you good, brother? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Man, thank you guys, bro.
Thank you so much, guys.
We have a couple like rapid fire questions. Can we ask you guys before you leave?
Sure.
It's kind of like those little highlights they put up.
15 more minutes.
Yeah, real quick, bro. We're good?
I'm just saying no because I'm.
All right.
Oh.
No, you're good.
All right. These rapid fire questions are just silly type of questions. So.
Okay, yeah.
And you can both answer it or just one of you, whoever you
Yeah.
guys want to answer it. So, all right, I'll start.
Yo.
Most underrated artist alive.
E40, Los Rakas.
Right on. In one sentence, what's the root of your ambition?
Family.
Reggaeton or dancehall for the rest of your life?
Dancehall.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Careful, this might get you in trouble in New York.
Pineapple. I ain't never liked pineapple. With pizza, I ain't never liked that. I like the pepperoni. Keep it
Pepperoni.
basic.
That's it.
Best food spot in the Bay Area?
Ooh.
This one I want both of you guys to answer.
Ooh.
Man.
Don't disappoint nobody, bro. Be careful.
Hey, man, shout out to Papalote. Shout out to Papalote. He's about to open a brand new restaurant. His food he be hitting. Yeah.
Where at?
It's in San Francisco.
I'm gonna write that Papalote.
Yeah, that's a tough one because it depends on what you want to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Panamanian food.
We don't really
no.
got a Panamanian restaurant out here.
Yeah, nah. So I really just be, either I'm gonna be Thai for today,
I was thinking Thai.
Japanese tomorrow,
Right on.
or Mexican. It depends.
Thanks God for the Bay Area and the culture. you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
We're so
variety.
blessed here.
We can go eat anything: Vietnamese, Indian, Ethiopian.
Lo que cae.
You know.
Whatever you want, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
What's you guys' to-go pre-show ritual?
Ooh.
My pre-show ritual.
Things about Marley.
Yeah, just a little blaze, puffing on the cannabis.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the dumbest shit you ever done in your career?
Dumbest shit we
Oh,
ever
shit.
done.
And I like to mix it up.
Yeah, dumbest shit
Bottoms
we ever
up,
done in our career.
boys.
Dumbest shit I think is treating the business with emotion, like being emotional about the business part.
Damn, that's good.
That's
You know what I mean?
UFOs real or nah?
Yeah, they real.
Yeah, hell yeah. I've seen them a few times, so I know. You know what I mean? Yeah, you already know. We seen it in New York on the airplane. It was crazy because it's like we're flying back to the Bay, and it's like really dark outside, and you see the city lights, and you see the buildings, and all of a sudden you see this glow outside of the airplane, and we're looking at the thing just floating and doing all kind of weird movements.
That's fucking crazy.
And then
bro.
I'm like, dude, but it was crazy because the day before, a few hours before, I just kept talking about UFOs for some reason. It's like UFOs this, UFO that. And they're like, man, shut up. Like, why you keep talking about it? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, so when we finally see it on the airplane, I'm sitting in the middle. I'm like, yo, it's a UFO outside the window. He wasn't looking because he's like, this man, here you go, joking around. I'm like, dude, there's a UFO outside of the window. So I turn his head and he sees it and then it disappeared and he looks at me, he like, oh, and I'm like, you saw it? I was like, I told you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Favorite curse word in Spanish?
Chucha madre. Chucha madre.
Chucha
Same for you?
madre.
It's
Yeah.
Panamanian.
Chucha, yeah.
And this might be the same word, but what's one word in Spanish that you overuse?
Dique.
Dique.
Yeah, Ayala máquina, Ayala bestia, loco. Ayala, eso para peña.
Ayala.
Yeah.
Will you rather go platinum or be immortal on vinyl forever?
Ooh.
What you mean?
So like platinum album, like, or just never make it to that level, but just in the culture, just be immortal
Oh,
forever.
yeah. Being more on the culture is more important.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
What's one thing that most people misunderstand about Los Rakas?
One thing people misunderstand about Los Rakas,
I think it's sometimes it might be our sense of humor.
okay,
I
yeah.
also think the way that we talk too is a little aggressive. So a lot of the industry cats, like, I feel like they might have interpreted how we talk as an aggressive, aggressive, but it's just where we come from, you know? Like, we from Panama and we from Oakland, and we just talk aggressive. You know
Direct.
Yeah, we rude boys, but we solid people, we good people.
Exactly.
Good heart.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so a lot of the industry cats, I feel like they misunderstood it because they didn't grow up like how we grew up. We from, you know, two different spots, you know, where it's like, you have to be like this, you know? Then once, you know, I start being more in the business side of things, I start understanding that there's a different way to communicate when you're doing business, you know? So I feel like a lot of people misunderstood how we talk, you know what I mean? Like are they getting at me, or they, you know, or the sense of humor when we clowning, they might not understand, you know what I mean? They get all sensitive and get all butthurt, but it's all love every time, you know?
We got two more for you. What's you guys' favorite comedian? English or Spanish?
Hey, one of my favorite comedians is Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
hell yeah, I
funny,
love
dude.
him.
That motherfucker's
I love
funny.
comedy. I love stand-up comedy. Like every it's no Netflix comedy stand-up that I haven't seen. You know?
Oh, yeah. We love comedy in this house too.
Yeah.
En Spanish, what's el mexicano que te gusta, que nos tomamos una foto con él en Los Ángeles?
Eugenio Derbez.
Oh, yeah. Henry Derbez is
He's
the
funny
shit.
as hell.
Yeah.
My favorite is one of my favorites. There's so many, but the one that I really always like to listen to, even if I hear it over and over, Mike Epps.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Mike Epps talks my language. Like, yo, hilarious.
Yeah, that guy is hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
What is one thing that each one of you guys, a trade that you admire about each other?
Ooh.
He's like he don't get satisfied easy, like when it comes to working music, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Okay.
I get mad sometimes, but then I'm like, that was right. Right. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you know, I like how Dune is a dad to his daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful,
All right,
bro.
beautiful.
Yeah, like he's a good dad, man. Watching him, you know, even though that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed
Yeah,
to be a good
yeah.
dad.
Yeah,
But I
but
see-
not everybody
But
does
not
it.
everybody's a good dad, bro.
I see how attentive he is with his daughter and how much, you know, it's funny because, you know, Dune has a strong personality. You know, he's a boss. You know what I mean? But when I see his daughter bossing him around,
And she like this big, bro.
I like, look at you. You a whole other person.
That's what they do to us,
right,
bro. That's what they do to us.
Very
bro.
last question. What advice would you give a young Raka, maybe a kid from a youth center right now, that has big dreams in life?
Yeah, don't let the surroundings, your surrounding, distract you from your goals. You know what I mean? It can be a friend. It can even be like not intentionally. You know what I mean? Like a friend might. Man, you gotta be because peer pressure in the hood is big. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Peer pressure in the hood is big, so you gotta tell your partner, no, I'm not going over there.
Straight up.
Right.
No, you know what I
I
mean?
used to tell,
And it's hard to say no to them, bro.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard, homie.
Some of them be persistent.
Yeah, bro.
And you want to fit in too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So you know, I used to have that problem. You know what I mean? With if you know, a few of the partners and a few of the cousins, I'd be like, bruh.
Yeah.
I don't want to meet nobody, bruh. 'Cause I know he's gonna introduce me to some hot boys. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh, nah, bruh, I'll drop you off, but that's it. I'm not gonna stay. Like, I don't want. I'm like, bruh, I got a lot to lose, my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, you got any drugs on you? You got any weapons?
Yeah.
Straight up,
That's
nigga.
Real.
Every time we with this guy, we gonna get pulled over by the police.
Yeah, get
Man,
that
we done
shit.
been on high speed chases with this guy.
He's talking. I'm been on high speed chase with him. He be driving.
Throw that shit out the window. Throw that shit out the window, dog. Come on.
No, but we like, you know, we've been in situations like I always just tell, like, look, I got a lot to lose, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, even though I would like to go do that because it's easy and then, you know, I'm going to come up.
Yeah.
I'd rather struggle and be free.
Right.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
have to look over your back.
Not have to look over my back. We struggling, but we're going to be free and we're going to get to that goal eventually. But I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to lose my life. You know what I mean? I got a son that looking up to me.
That message needs to get out there more, man.
Sure.
So that's
100%, bro.
So-
Beautiful.
Well, guys, thank you for your time. It was amazing
Thank you,
meeting
guys,
you.
man.
Your story is awesome. Your music is
Yeah,
fucking
bro.
fire.
Thank you, brother.
guys, pull up Saturday at 7 or 5?
8.
At 8. That was way up. Pull up. We'll be posting all of this starting here in a couple hours.
Couple hours, bro. We're gonna start pumping. Start pumping, bro.
Yeah.
Start pumping.
So
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
That's
Thank
a
you,
wrap,
guys.
man.
It starts with a fire you can't ignore, a whisper that says you are meant. Story and the will to bet. You wanna grow something real, you gotta bind the ships. This is the roots of ambition. This is the roots of ambition. This is the roots of ambition.